For centuries, the origins of the Chinese people have sparked intense debate. While Chinese civilization is as ancient as those of Greece and Rome, its beginnings have long remained a mystery. Where did the Chinese people come from? How did their race originate? For the longest time, there was no concrete evidence, until now. Recent studies on Chinese genomes have uncovered compelling evidence linking China's ancestral roots to Black Africa. But what does this really mean? What additional proof supports this connection? Welcome to We the World, the channel dedicated to uncovering hidden and overlooked aspects of Black history, culture, art, and lost civilizations. Here we dive deep into history to bring the truth back to the surface. In today's episode, we reveal how ancient Chinese civilization and its people may have direct ties to early African migrants. Could the Chinese people be an evolved lineage of Black Africans? Stay with us as we explore the fascinating evidence behind this theory. Genetic evidence, tracing the connection. Before the advent of DNA and genetic testing, tracing ancestral roots was nearly impossible. For instance, determining paternity was once based on speculation rather than scientific proof. However, with breakthroughs in genetic research, scientists have gained the ability to map the origins of different human populations with remarkable accuracy. This quest led to a groundbreaking study in 1998, the Chinese Human Genome Diversity Project, conducted by the National Academy of Sciences in China. The goal? To analyze the genetic diversity of the Chinese population and uncover the origins of their ancestry. So, how does this process work? Much like a DNA test for paternity, genetic analysis identifies specific DNA patterns, comparing them across populations to determine genetic similarities. The closer the match, the stronger the biological connection. When the results of this study were finally revealed, the world was stunned. The findings indicated that nearly 1/5 of the Chinese population carries genetic markers identical to those found in Black Africans. This provided clear, undeniable evidence of a deep ancestral link between China and Africa. In other words, even after thousands of years, 20% of the Chinese population still retains Black African genetic traits, suggesting that early Chinese populations were originally Black migrants from Africa. This discovery reshapes our understanding of early human migration and challenges conventional historical narratives. The persistence of Black genetic markers. Even after hundreds of thousands of years, a significant portion of the Chinese population still carries genetic markers that trace back to Africa. This is a striking revelation. Typically, through interbreeding, dominant genetic traits fade over generations. But in this case, Black African genes have remained resilient, still present in 20% of the Chinese population today. This persistence suggests something remarkable. Black genes demonstrate superior survivability and dominance. While genetic traits often become recessive and eventually disappear, these markers have endured, shaping the deep-rooted connection between Africa and China. Before we dive deeper, let us know, are you enjoying this video? If so, like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more content on Black culture, history, civilization, and the undeniable legacy of Black excellence. Now let's continue. Archaeological evidence, tracing Africa's legacy in China. African civilizations, especially ancient Egypt, were known for their astonishing architectural feats, most notably the pyramids of Giza. The ability to move and shape massive stone blocks weighing tons remains an engineering marvel even today. But did you know that Egypt isn't the only place where pyramids exist? This raises an intriguing question. Could early African migrants have carried their advanced architectural knowledge to other parts of the world? Since archaeologists widely acknowledge that Africa is the birthplace of humanity, it is possible that the earliest Chinese emperors and dynasties had African origins. Consider this. In Xi'an, China, there are approximately 100 pyramids, a discovery that challenges conventional historical narratives. Could these structures be evidence of an African influence on early Chinese civilization? And if so, why isn't this connection openly discussed? The pyramids of Xi'an, a hidden connection? The pyramids found at the mausoleum of the first Qin emperor, famously known as the site of the Terracotta Army, stand as one of China's most significant historical landmarks. Located about 30 kilometers east of Xi'an in Shanxi province, this grand burial site was built in the late 3rd century BCE as the final resting place of Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor of China. But here's something fascinating. The pyramids of Giza were built over 5,000 years ago, long before the Qin dynasty. Could this indicate a shared architectural influence? Many believe that Black Africans played a crucial role in constructing the pyramids of Xi'an, just as they did in Egypt. Of course, not everyone agrees. Some argue that these so-called pyramids are nothing more than natural hills shaped by erosion. However, archaeological clues suggest otherwise. Many signs point to the Mu civilization, an ancient group of small black people, as the builders of these structures. Throughout history, pyramids have been discovered on nearly every continent, yet one thing remains consistent. Their design, engineering, and contents closely resemble those of African-built pyramids. If mainstream historians were to examine the architecture, construction techniques, and artifacts found within Xi'an's pyramids, they might uncover undeniable links between African and Chinese civilizations. So the real question is, were the first Chinese emperors black? Stay with us, because in the next segment, we'll dive into even more compelling evidence that challenges everything we thought we knew about early Chinese history. China's first dynasty, the overlooked Black origins. China's deep and complex history includes a largely forgotten truth. Its first dynasty and emperor had African roots. Historical accounts reveal that King Tu, the founder of China's first dynasty, was of Africoid or Black descent. This lineage continued into the Shang dynasty, China's earliest documented rulership, which played a crucial role in unifying the nation's foundation and shaping its first civilization. Under this Black dynasty, the people were referred to as Naki, meaning black man in Chinese. This wasn't just a random title, it was a clear acknowledgement of the dynasty's black heritage. One of the most legendary emperors, Fuxi, was described as a woolly-haired black man credited with establishing government structures, social institutions, and cultural advancement. He is also believed to have developed the Book of Changes, I Ching, one of China's oldest and most revered philosophical texts. Unlike modern Chinese rulers, these early emperors bore distinct features that reflected their African ancestry. As dynasties evolved, the black lineage remained evident. The Ming dynasty's founder, Emperor Hongwu, was a Muslim of Sudanese and Mongolian descent who significantly shaped China's governance and military structure. Even Shaolin Kung Fu, one of the most iconic martial traditions, traces its origins to both Indian and African influences. In fact, the White Garment Hall of the Shaolin Monastery in Hunan Province still holds evidence of these deep connections between African and Asian martial arts. Archaeological discoveries also reveal the presence of black civilizations in early Chinese history. Ancient Chinese records frequently mention kingdoms ruled by black leaders, and classical texts describe diminutive black people with distinctly African features. Even certain emperors, Xiao Wenwei and Emperor Shan, were recorded as having black African ancestry, with entire black-ruled kingdoms flourishing in southwest China. These undeniable pieces of evidence raise an important question. Why is this history often overlooked or suppressed? As we continue to uncover the forgotten connections between Black and Chinese civilizations, it becomes clear that China's origins are more deeply intertwined with Africa than mainstream history acknowledges. China's suppressed Black history, uncovering the truth. The sacred Manchu dynasty holds clear evidence of a strong Black presence, with Emperor Puyi of Manchukuo being notably described as having distinct African features. Chinese historical chronicles also document the existence of a Black empire in southern China at the dawn of the nation's history. These accounts suggest that China's African heritage is not speculation. It is a historical fact backed by evidence. However, if you attempt to research this connection, you'll find an unsettling truth. Archaeological records linking China and Africa have been systematically removed or suppressed. Even with genetic proof confirming China's African ancestry, many scholars hesitate to acknowledge the pyramids of Xi'an as part of this connection. Why? Because doing so would force them to admit that China's pyramids, like those in Egypt, were built under Black leadership and knowledge. Mainstream history books remain silent on the significant role Black people played in shaping early Chinese civilization. They weren't invaders or foreign conquerors. They were native inhabitants of China, carrying strikingly similar features to Black Africans. So let's ask the crucial question. Are Black Africans the true ancestors of the Chinese, and possibly other races as well? What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. We are dedicated to uncovering the hidden truths of Black history, civilization, and excellence. Thank you for watching, and until next time, stay tuned.